Captain Jake Morrison sat in his command chair and looked out at the stars. The U's horizon moved slowly through space, far from Earth. His ship was not built for fighting. It was made for exploring and finding new things in the galaxy. Jake had been in space for 3 years now. His crew of 43 people worked hard every day. They mapped new star systems and looked for planets that might have life. It was good work, but sometimes it got boring. "Captain, we are getting something strange," said Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez from her station. She was the ship's tactical officer, though there was not much fighting to do out here. Jake walked over to Amy's station. "What do you mean strange?" "It's a signal, sir. But it's not like anything we have seen before. It's not from Earth or any human ship." Jake felt his heart beat faster. In all their time in space, they had never heard from aliens before. Earth scientists always wondered if other life was out there. Now they might have an answer. "Can you clean up the signal?" Jake asked. Amy worked at her controls. "I'm trying, sir, but it's very weak. And it's in some kind of code." Jake called to his communications officer. "Pete, get over here. We need your help." Commander Pete Johnson was the ship's engineer, but he was also good with communications. He came over and looked at the signal on Amy's screen. "This is definitely not human," Pete said. "But look at this pattern. It repeats every few minutes. Someone is sending this over and over." Jake felt worried. If they keep sending the same message, they must really need help. "Should we try to decode it?" Amy asked. Jake thought about it. Earth's rules said they should report any alien contact right away. But Earth was very far away. It would take months to get a message there and back. "Get Dr. Lisa Carter up here," Jake ordered. "If anyone can figure out what this says, it's her." Dr. Lisa Carter was the ship's language expert. She came to the bridge quickly when she heard about the alien signal. She was a small woman with gray hair, but she was very smart. "Play the signal for me," Lisa said. They listened to the strange sounds coming from space. Lisa closed her eyes and listened carefully. After a few minutes, she opened her eyes. "It's definitely a language," she said. "But it's very different from anything on Earth. Give me some time to work on it." Lisa worked for 6 hours straight. Jake and his crew waited. Finally, she called them back to the bridge. "I think I have some of it," Lisa said. She looked tired but excited. "It's a distress call. What does it say?" Jake asked. Lisa looked at her notes. "They call themselves the Zelani. They live on a planet called Zephyria Prime. Someone is attacking them. They're asking for help." Jake felt cold. "Are they asking us for help?" "That's the strange part," Lisa said. "They mention a species from the third planet of Sol. That's us, Captain. They know about Earth." Amy looked confused. "How do they know about us?" Lisa continued reading. "They say they heard about humans from traders. They heard that humans are good fighters. They're begging us to help them." Jake stared at the message. He had never been in a real fight. His ship was not built for war. But somewhere out there, people were dying. "Who is attacking them?" Jake asked. "Something called the Korthek Dominion," Lisa said. "From what I can understand, they attack peaceful worlds. They kill some people and make the rest into slaves." Pete spoke up. "Captain, what do we do? Our orders are to report any alien contact to Earth Command." Jake knew Pete was right. But Earth was so far away. By the time they got permission to do anything, the Zelani might all be dead. How long would it take to get to their planet? Jake asked Amy. Amy checked her star charts. "About 2 weeks at full speed, sir. And how long to contact Earth and wait for orders?" "At least 3 months, sir." Jake walked around the bridge. His crew watched him. They all knew what he was thinking. They had families back on Earth. They had orders to follow. But they also knew that people were dying. "Captain," said Dr. Carter softly, "listen to this part of the message. She played a section of the alien signal. Even though Jake could not understand the words, he could hear the fear and pain in the voice. "They're scared," Jake said quietly. "Yes, sir, and they're running out of time." Jake looked at each of his crew members. Amy was young but brave. Pete was smart and loyal. Lisa was kind and wanted to help others. They all looked at him with trust in their eyes. "If we go to help them, we might not come back," Jake said. "This ship is not built for fighting. We don't know how strong these Korthik are. But if we don't go," Amy said, "they'll all die." Jake thought about his duty to Earth. Then he thought about the scared voice in the alien message. Sometimes doing the right thing meant breaking the rules. "Amy, set course for Zephyria Prime." "Maximum speed." "Yes, sir." "Pete, send a message to Earth. Tell them what we found and what we're doing." "Right away, Captain." "And Lisa, keep working on that language. We need to be able to talk to the Zalani when we get there." As the ship turned toward the unknown, Jake made one more decision. He walked to the communication station and opened a channel back to the alien signal. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the human ship HFY Horizon," he said slowly. "We received your message. We are coming to help you. Do not give up hope." He closed the channel and sat back in his command chair. In 2 weeks, they would reach an alien world. They would meet people from another planet for the first time, and they would try to save them from an enemy they knew nothing about. The HFY Horizon flew through space toward its destiny. Behind them, Earth was far away. Ahead of them, aliens were fighting for their lives. And somewhere in the darkness, an enemy called the Korthak Dominion was about to learn that they had made a very big mistake. They were about to meet humanity. President Karen Walsh sat in the big meeting room deep under the White House. The room was full of people from all over Earth. They had come quickly when they heard about the alien message. "Tell me again what Captain Morrison found." President Walsh said to Admiral Ryan Cooper. Admiral Cooper was the boss of all Earth Space Forces. He was a big man with gray hair and serious eyes. 2 days ago, the HFY Horizon picked up a distress signal from an alien species called the Zalani. They're being attacked by something called the Korthak Dominion. And Captain Morrison went to help them without asking permission. "Yes, ma'am. He's 2 weeks away from their planet now." President Walsh rubbed her forehead. She had been president for 3 years, but nothing had prepared her for this. "What do we know about these Korthik?" Scout Commander Tony Blake stood up. He was young but very smart. His job was to gather information about threats to Earth. "I've been studying all the data we have, ma'am. It's not good." Tony put pictures on the big screen. "The Korthik Dominion has destroyed 17 different worlds in the last 50 years. They don't just conquer planets. They kill most of the people and make the rest into slaves." Everyone in the room looked at the pictures. They showed dead. Planets with no life left on them. "How strong are they?" asked General Frank Miller, who was in charge of Earth's armies. "Very strong, sir. They have hundreds of ships and millions of soldiers. But there's something strange about them." "What do you mean?" President Walsh asked. Tony changed the picture. "Look at this." Every planet they attacked had the same thing in common. The people were peaceful. They had no armies. They had never fought a real war. Dr. Helen Martinez raised her hand. She was Earth's top scientist who studied alien life. "May I speak, ma'am?" "Go ahead, Dr. Martinez." Dr. Martinez stood up. She was a small woman with kind eyes, but she was very smart. "I've been studying the data about all these alien species. There's something very important we need to understand." She put new pictures on the screen. Every planet the Korthik attacked had low gravity, much lower than Earth, and every species they fought was physically weak compared to us. "What does that mean?" asked Admiral Cooper. It means these aliens evolved on easy worlds, Dr. Martinez explained. They never had to fight big predators. They never had to survive in harsh weather. They never had to work hard just to stay alive. President Walsh leaned forward, but Earth was different. Very different, ma'am. Earth is what we call a death world. Everything on our planet tried to kill us. Big animals hunted us. The weather could freeze us or burn us. We had to fight for every meal, every day. Dr. Martinez showed pictures of Earth's animals. Lions, bears, sharks, snakes. We survived because we became stronger, faster, and smarter than everything else. We learned to work together. We learned to never give up. So you're saying we're stronger than these other species? Asked General Miller. What's stronger, sir? A human soldier could probably fight 10 Korthic soldiers and win. Our bones are denser. Our muscles are stronger. We heal faster. We can take more pain. Admiral Cooper looked worried. But they have better technology. That's true, Dr. Martinez said. But technology only helps if you know how to use it in a fight. The Korthic have never fought anyone who could fight back. President Walsh stood up and walked around the room. Everyone waited for her to speak. How many ships do we have that could fight? She asked Admiral Cooper. 12 heavy cruisers and 48 smaller ships. But ma'am, they're exploration ships, not warships. How long would it take to get them ready for battle? If we work, day and night, maybe 2 weeks. President Walsh stopped walking. The same time it will take Captain Morrison to reach the Zelani. Yes, ma'am. What about weapons? General Miller answered. Our ships have some weapons for protection, but they're not built for war. Then we make them ready for war, President. Walsh said firmly. How many soldiers can we put on these ships? About 10,000, ma'am. Dr. Martinez spoke up again. Ma'am, I need to tell you something else. The Korthic don't just attack random planets. They're moving in a pattern. They're heading toward the richer star systems. What's the richest? Star system in this part of the galaxy? Sol, ma'am. Our system. Earth. The room went quiet. Everyone understood now. The Korthic were not just attacking the Zelani. They were coming for Earth, too. How long do we have? President Walsh asked. If they follow their usual pattern, maybe 2 years, Tony Blake said. President Walsh sat back down. So we have a choice. We can hide and hope they don't find us. Or we can fight them now, before they get stronger. There's a third option, said Dr. Martinez quietly. What's that? We can do what Captain Morrison is doing. We can protect the innocent. Admiral Cooper shook his head. Ma'am, with respect, we don't know these aliens. Why should we risk human lives for them? Because it's right, President Walsh said simply. And because if we don't stop the Korthic now, they'll eventually come for us. She looked around the room at all the important people. I'm going to ask all of you to do something very dangerous. I want to send our fleet to help Captain Morrison. I want to show the galaxy that humans will not let bullies hurt innocent people. Ma'am, Admiral Cooper said, this could start a war. Admiral, the war is already started. The Korthic started it when they decided to kill innocent people. We're just going to finish it. President Walsh pressed a button on the table. Get me the Speaker of the House and the Senate leader. We need to vote on this right away. 2 hours later, the vote was finished. The United States Congress voted to send help to the Zelani. Other countries on Earth quickly agreed to help too. Admiral Cooper stood up. Ma'am, I'll take command of the fleet personally. Good. Take the UES Retribution as your flagship. An admiral? Yes, ma'am. Bring our people home safely? All of them? That night, spaceports all over Earth were busy. Soldiers said goodbye to their families. Engineers worked to put weapons on exploration ships. Supplies were loaded as fast. as possible. The UES Retribution was the biggest ship in Earth's fleet. Admiral Cooper walked through its halls, checking everything. The ship was full of Marines, pilots, and engineers. They were all volunteers who wanted to help the Zelani. "Admiral," said Captain Nancy Green, who would be his second in command, "the fleet is ready to go." Admiral Cooper looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, Captain Morrison was racing to save aliens they had never met. And somewhere else, the Korthek Dominion was about to learn that they had made a terrible mistake. "Send the message to all ships," Admiral Cooper ordered. "This is Admiral Cooper to all vessels. We are going to help people who cannot help themselves. We are going to show the galaxy what humans do when innocent people are in danger. Let's bring our people home." The fleet launched from Earth like a swarm of angry bees. 12 heavy cruisers and 48 escort ships, all heading for a planet they had never seen to fight an enemy they had never met. Behind them, Earth's leaders watched and prayed. Ahead of them, the Korthek Dominion was about to meet humanity for the first time. The Deathworlders were coming. Captain Jake Morrison stared at the planet below. Zephyria Prime was beautiful, with blue oceans and green land. But dark ships surrounded it like a disease. "How many Korthek ships?" Jake asked Amy Rodriguez. Amy checked her sensors. 43 ships, sir. All bigger than us. Jake felt his stomach drop. The U's Horizon was just one exploration ship. How could they fight 43 warships? "Captain," said Dr. Lisa Carter, "I'm getting signals from the planet. The Zelani are still alive." "Can you talk to them?" "I think so. I've learned more of their language during the trip." Jake nodded. "Open a channel." The main screen flickered, and suddenly they were looking at an alien face. The Zelani had large, dark eyes and blue-green skin. They looked like they lived in water. "Human ship," the alien said in broken English. "You came. We thought you were myth." "I'm Captain Morrison. We're here to help." "Who am I talking to?" "I am Thymus Aquilane. I lead my people in this dark time. The Korthek have destroyed our surface cities. We hide in the deep ocean." Jake could see fear in the alien's big eyes. "How many of your people are left? Maybe 1 million? We were 5 million before the Korthek came. They kill us for sport." Amy whispered to Jake, "Sir, we're getting scanned by the Korthek ships." Jake ignored her for now. "Thymus, we need to meet with you. Can you bring us to a safe place?" "Yes, but how?" "The Korthek watch everything. Leave that to us." Jake closed the channel and turned to his crew. "Ideas?" Pete Johnson spoke up. "The Zelani live underwater. Our shuttles can land on water." "But the Korthek will see us," Amy said. "Not if we're sneaky," Jake replied. "Pete, can you make our shuttle invisible to their sensors?" "For a short time, yes." 1 hour later, Jake and 4 crew members were in a small shuttle heading down to the planet. Commander Beth Sullivan was with them. She was good at talking to people and making friends. They landed on the ocean far from the Korthek ships. The water was warm and clear. Soon shapes appeared under the water. The Zelani came up to meet them. Thymus Aquilane was bigger than he looked on the screen. He was about 6 feet tall, but very thin. His skin was smooth and blue-green. He had gills on his neck for breathing underwater. "Welcome to our world," Thymus said sadly. "What is left of it?" Beth Sullivan stepped forward. "We're sorry this happened. To your people, we want to help." "You are so few," Thymus said. "The Korthek have many ships and many soldiers." "Numbers aren't everything," Jake said. "Tell us about the Korthek. What are they like?" Thymus led them to a platform that floated on the water. Other Zelani came up to listen. They all looked scared, but hopeful. "The Korthek are cruel," Thymus explained. They come from a world with light gravity. They are not strong like you, but they have many weapons. What do you mean, not strong like us? Beth asked. You move differently than we do. You move like predators. The Korthik move like ... like prey. Jake was confused. What do you mean? One of the other Zilani spoke up. We have heard stories from traders. They say humans come from a world of monsters. A world where everything tries to kill you. That's our Earth, Jake said with a small smile. The Korthik come from a world with no big predators, no danger. They learn to fight by building machines, not by surviving. Suddenly, alarms started beeping on Jake's communicator. Amy's voice came through. Captain, Korthik ships are moving toward your position. Jake looked at Thymus. We need to go underwater. Can you help us? Yes, but your breathing equipment. We'll manage. The Zilani dove into the water, and the humans followed. Jake had never been so deep underwater before. The Zilani moved like dolphins, fast and graceful. The humans moved more slowly, but steadily. They reached an underwater city. It was beautiful, with buildings that looked like coral reefs. But Jake could see damage everywhere. Many buildings were broken or empty. The Korthik dropped bombs into the water, Thymus explained. They tried to kill us in our homes. As they swam through the city, Jake saw something that made him angry. There were children hiding in the buildings. Young Zilani who should have been playing and learning. Instead, they were hiding in fear. How long have they been attacking you? Beth asked. 6 months. They started by demanding we surrender. When we said no, they began killing us. They reached a large building in the center of the city. Inside, Jake met with the Zilani leaders. They were all scared, but they had not given up hope. We heard about humans from traders, one leader said. They told us humans are different. They said humans fight to protect others, not to conquer. That's true, Jake said. But I have to be honest with you. We're just one ship. We don't have an army. But more humans are coming? Thymus asked, hopefully. Jake thought about the message. He had sent to Earth. I hope so. But even if they come, it might not be enough. Suddenly, the building shook. Explosions echoed through the water. They're bombing again, Thymus said. Jake felt something he had never felt before. Pure anger. These bullies were attacking innocent people, including children. They were destroying a beautiful world just because they could. Take us back to the surface, Jake said. I want to talk to these Korthik. That's dangerous, Thymus warned. Good. I want them to know we're dangerous too. Back on the surface, Jake got into his shuttle and returned to the UE's horizon. As soon as he was on board, he went to the communications station. Open a channel to the Korthik command ship, he ordered. Sir, are you sure? Amy asked. Do it. The screen flickered, and Jake found himself looking at an alien that made him sick. The Korthik looked like a cross between a lizard and an insect. It had cold, cruel eyes and sharp teeth. I am General Vorthik of the Korthik Dominion, the alien said. You will surrender immediately, or we will destroy you. Jake stood up straight and looked the alien in the eyes. I am Captain Jake Morrison of the human ship UES Horizon. I'm here to tell you that you made a big mistake. The Korthik general laughed. It was an ugly sound. You are one small ship. We are many. Surrender now, and we will kill you quickly. You don't understand, Jake said calmly. You attacked innocent people. You killed children. You destroyed homes. And now you're threatening us. So what will you do, little human? Jake smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. I'm going to teach you why it's a bad idea to make enemies of a species that evolved on a death world. The Korthik general looked confused. Death world? What is this word? You're about to find out, Jake said. But first, let me tell you what's coming. Right now, The entire human fleet is heading here. 12 heavy cruisers, 48 escort ships, and 10,000 soldiers. All of them are coming to stop you. You lie. We recorded your attacks on the Zelani. We know about the other 17 worlds you destroyed. Earth doesn't like bullies. The Korthic general's face changed. He looked worried for the first time. But here's the thing, Jake continued. Even if my fleet wasn't coming, even if I was alone, I would still fight you. Because that's what humans do. We protect people who can't protect themselves. You are. Just one ship. I'm not just one ship. I'm humanity's promise to the galaxy. And that promise is simple. If you hurt innocent people, we will stop you. Jake closed the channel and sat back in his chair. His crew looked at him with respect and fear. Captain, Amy said quietly, what if the fleet doesn't come? Then we fight anyway, Jake said. Because it's right. Outside, the Korthic ships moved closer. But Jake wasn't afraid anymore. He had seen the faces of the Zelani children. He had heard their stories. And he had made a promise. Somewhere in space, Admiral Cooper's fleet was racing toward them. But, even if they were alone, Jake knew what he had to do. The UES Horizon was about to show the galaxy what one human ship could do when fighting for something worth dying for. Admiral Ryan Cooper stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution and watched the Korthic fleet on his screen. 43 enemy ships surrounded the planet like vultures. In the middle of them, one small human ship waited alone. Status report. Cooper ordered Captain Nancy Green checked her instruments. All ships are ready for battle, Admiral. The U's Horizon is still in one piece. Good. Open a channel to Captain Morrison. Jake Morrison appeared on the screen. He looked tired but determined. Admiral Cooper, you came. Did you think we wouldn't? Cooper asked with a smile. I hoped you would. The Korthic have been threatening to attack for the past day. I think they're waiting for something. They're waiting for us, Cooper said. They want to see what we're made of. Amy Rodriguez appeared next to Jake on the screen. Admiral, the Korthic have been scanning our ship. They seem confused by our technology. Cooper nodded. That's because they've never seen technology built by a Deathworld species. Captain Morrison, pull back to our position. Let's show them what humans can do. The U's Horizon moved away from the planet and joined the human fleet. The Korthic ships followed, forming a battle line. Admiral, said Commander Sam Turner from the U's Valkyrie, the Korthic are moving into attack formation. Let them come, Cooper replied. All ships, battle stations. Today, we show the galaxy that humans don't back down from bullies. The Korthic attack began with a massive wave of energy weapons. Bright beams of light crossed space toward the human ships. But the human captains had trained for this moment. They moved their ships in ways the Korthic had never seen before. Captain Julie Martinez on the UES Phoenix dove under the enemy fire, then came up behind a Korthic ship. Captain Sam Turner flew the UES Valkyrie in a spinning pattern that confused the enemy gunners. Their weapons are powerful, reported Captain Martinez, but they can't hit us if we keep moving. Cooper watched the battle unfold. The Korthic ships were bigger and had more weapons, but they moved in straight lines. They expected their enemies to stand still and fight like the other species they had conquered. All ships attack pattern. Delta, Cooper ordered. Let's show them how wolves hunt. The human ships split into groups and attacked from different directions. The Korthic found themselves surrounded, their big ships too slow to turn and face the fast-moving humans. Direct hit on Korthic ship number 7, reported Captain Turner. Their armor is strong, said Captain Martinez, but it's not built for our weapons. Cooper smiled. Human weapons were designed to work on Earth, where everything was built to last. The Korthic armor was made to stop the weak weapons of peaceful species. "Admiral," said Captain Green, "the Korthik are trying to retreat to the planet." "Don't let them," Cooper ordered. "They want to use the Zalani as shields." The space battle raged for 2 hours. The humans lost 3 escort ships, but they destroyed 15 Korthik vessels. The enemy was learning that humans were not like other species. "Admiral," came a voice from the UES horizon. "Captain Morrison here. Request permission to lead a boarding party." Cooper was surprised. "A boarding party? Captain, these are warships." "Yes, sir, but I want to capture their command ship. We need to know more about the Korthik Dominion. It's too dangerous." "Sir, we have Colonel Rick Davis and his Marines on board. They've been training for this." Cooper thought about it. Marines were human soldiers who specialized in fighting in small spaces. Permission granted, but be careful. Jake Morrison suited up in combat armor and joined Colonel Davis and 20 Marines. They climbed into a small, fast ship and headed for the Korthik command vessel. "Remember," Colonel Davis told his men, "these aliens have never fought humans before. They don't know what we're capable of." The boarding ship attached to the side of the Korthik command ship. The Marines cut through the hull and entered the alien vessel. The inside of the Korthik ship was built for smaller, weaker beings. The corridors were narrow and low. The human Marines, in their powered armor, looked like giants. "Contact," whispered Sergeant Bill Parker. "Korthik soldiers ahead." The Korthik soldiers fired their weapons at the humans. The energy beams hit the Marine armor, but did not penetrate. The humans kept walking forward. "Impossible," one Korthik soldier said in their language. "Our weapons should kill them." Colonel Davis spoke into his translator. "Your weapons are made for fighting people who are weak. We are not weak." The Korthik soldiers tried to run, but the humans were faster. In their heavy armor, the Marines caught up to the aliens easily. "Don't kill them unless you have to," Davis ordered. "We need prisoners." The battle through the ship was quick. The Korthik had never fought an enemy that could walk through their weapons' fire. They had never seen soldiers who could lift heavy objects with one hand or run fast in heavy armor. Captain Morrison and the Marines reached the command center. General Vorthik was there, along with several other Korthik officers. "You, General." Vorthik pointed at Morrison. "This is impossible. You are just one species." "That's right," Morrison said. "We're just one species, but we're the species that survived on a death world." "I don't understand this word." Colonel Davis stepped forward. He was a big man even without his armor. With it, he looked like a walking tank. "A death world is a planet that tries to kill you every day. We had to fight giant predators. We had to survive in terrible weather. We had to be strong or die." "But you are just animals," General Vorthik said. "No," Morrison replied. "We're animals that learn to think. We're predators that learn to care about others. And we're warriors that learn to fight for what's right." The Korthik general looked around at his officers. They were all scared. "What do you want?" "We want you to leave this planet. We want you to free all the people you've enslaved. And we want you to never attack innocent people again." "And if we refuse?" Morrison smiled. "Then you'll learn why humans are the only species that ever looked at a death world and called it home." Back in space, the battle was ending. The Korthik ships were surrendering one by one. Admiral Cooper watched as the enemy fleet powered down their weapons. "Admiral," said Captain Green, "we're getting a message from the planet." "The Zilani are celebrating." Cooper nodded. "Send a message to all ships. Well done, everyone. Today we showed the galaxy that humans will not tolerate bullies." But Cooper knew this was just the beginning. The Korthik Dominion was huge, with hundreds of ships and thousands of planets. This victory would make them angry. Captain Green, Cooper said, send a message to Earth. Tell them we won the battle, but the war is just starting. Yes, sir. Cooper looked at the planet below. The Zilani were safe for now, but other species throughout the galaxy were still in danger. The Korthik would not give up easily. Sir, said Captain Green, Captain Morrison is back on board the UES. Horizon, he has prisoners. Good. Maybe we can learn something from them. Cooper thought about the future. Earth would have to build more ships and train more soldiers. They would have to become the protectors of the galaxy. Send another message to Earth, Cooper said. Tell them we're going to need a bigger fleet. The Battle of Zephyria Prime was over. The humans had won. But General Vorthik was right about one thing. Humans were just one species. The problem for the Korthik Dominion was that they had picked a fight with the wrong species. They had attacked the children of a death world. And now, all of humanity was angry. The galaxy was about to change forever. President Karen Walsh stood in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council Station. The ceiling was high above her head, built for beings much smaller than humans. Around her, hundreds of alien species sat in their seats, all staring at the humans, who had changed everything. 3 months had passed since the Battle of Zephyria Prime. In that time, 17 different species had sent messages to Earth, begging for help. The Korthik Dominion had declared war on humanity, and the galaxy had learned that humans were not like other species. The Council will hear from the human representative, announced the Council speaker, a tall, thin alien with 4 arms. Ambassador. Linda Parker stepped forward. She was a small woman, but she carried herself with confidence. Next to her stood 2 Marines in powered armor. Even in this peaceful place, they looked like giants among the smaller aliens. Honored Council members, Linda began, I am Ambassador Parker, speaking for the people of Earth. We come here today not as conquerors, but as protectors. A voice called out from the crowd. You destroyed 40 Korthik ships. Yes, Linda replied. Calmly, we did. And we will destroy more if they continue to attack innocent people. The Council speaker raised one of his 4 hands. Ambassador Parker, the Council is concerned about human aggression. Your species seems very violent. Linda looked around the hall at all the different aliens. Some looked scared. Others looked hopeful. A few looked angry. Council speaker, may I ask you a question? You may. How many peaceful species have been destroyed while this council talked about what to do? The council speaker was quiet for a moment. The council prefers diplomatic solutions. So do we, Linda said. But what happens when diplomacy fails? What happens when someone attacks your children? She gestured to a section of the hall where the Zilani delegation sat. Thymus Aquilane stood up and bowed to her. The humans saved my people, Thymus said. They came when no one else would help. They fought when no one else would fight. The humans are dangerous, said another voice. Linda turned and saw a Korthik representative, General Zethek. He was bigger than the Korthik she had seen before, with more scars on his lizard-like skin. Yes, we are dangerous, Linda agreed. We are very dangerous to anyone who hurts innocent people. General Zethek stood up. The Korthak Dominion formally declares war on the human species. We will destroy your homeworld. The hall went quiet. Many aliens looked scared, but Linda just smiled. General Zethek, that would be a mistake. Why? You are just one small planet. Because, Linda said, you don't understand what you're fighting. She walked closer to the Korthik general. Even though she was much smaller, he seemed to shrink back from her. You think humans are just another species with better weapons. You're wrong. We are the children of a death world. We evolved by fighting things that wanted to eat us. We survived by never giving up. She turned to address the entire council. Every species in this galaxy evolved on safe worlds. You learned to cooperate because you had to. You learned to be peaceful because you could afford to be. But humans? We learned to fight because if we didn't, we died. What does this mean for the galaxy? Asked the council speaker. It means that for the first time in your history, the predators have something to fear. President Walsh stepped forward to join Linda. The council asked us here to explain our actions. Here is our explanation. Earth will not stand by while bullies destroy innocent people. But what do you want? Asked a delegate from a bird-like species. We want peace, President Walsh said. But we want real peace, not the fake peace you have now, where the strong destroy the weak while everyone else watches. Admiral Cooper entered the hall with Captain Morrison and Colonel Davis. The three men in their military uniforms looked impressive next to the smaller aliens. Admiral Cooper will explain our military position. President Walsh, said. Cooper stepped forward. 3 months ago, we had 12 warships. Today, we have 200. In 6 months, we will have 500. In 1 year, we will have 1,000. The hall erupted in worried voices. Many aliens started talking at once. Are you planning to conquer the galaxy? The council speaker asked. No, Cooper replied. We are planning to protect it. President Walsh raised her hand for silence. The United Earth Government announces the formation of the Terran Protection Fleet. Any species that wants our protection can ask for it. Any species that attacks innocent people will face the consequences. And who decides who is innocent? General Zethek demanded. We do, President Walsh said simply. Because we're the ones willing to fight for them. She looked around the hall. One more time. This council has debated and discussed while 17 civilizations were destroyed. You have had peace talks while children were murdered. You have tried diplomacy while entire worlds burned. What would you have us do? Asked the council speaker. Either help us protect the innocent or stay out of our way. Linda Parker stepped forward again. Earth is offering a choice to every species in this galaxy. Stand with us against those who would destroy the peaceful, or stand aside and let us do what you cannot. And if we oppose you? Asked a delegate from a species that looked like walking plants. Then you become the enemy, Linda said quietly. The hall was silent for a long moment. Then Thymus Aquilane stood up. The Zelani stand with humanity. One by one, other delegates stood up. The bird-like species. A race that looked like living crystals. Small furry beings from a cold world. In total, 43 species pledged to support Earth, but not everyone agreed. General Zethek and 12 other species walked out of the hall. This means war, Zethek said as he left. We know, President Walsh replied. We're ready. 1 year. Later, Admiral Cooper stood on the bridge of his new flagship, the UES Guardian. Around him, a fleet of 500 human ships prepared for their next mission. Captain Morrison, now promoted to Fleet Admiral, commanded the 3rd Protection Fleet. They were heading to a system where a species called the Morvok were attacking peaceful traders. Admiral Morrison, Cooper said over the communication system, remember our mission. Protect the innocent, stop the aggressors, Morrison replied. We understand, sir. Cooper smiled. The galaxy had changed so much in such a short time. The Korthic Dominion was still fighting, but they were losing. Other aggressive species had stopped their attacks when they heard what happened to those who fought humans. Sir, said Captain Green, we're getting a message from the Antaran system. They're requesting protection from raiders. Send the 7th Fleet, Cooper ordered. And from the Deltara colonies. Pirates are attacking their shipping. Send the 9th Fleet. Cooper looked out at the stars. Once, humans had been alone in the galaxy, wondering if anyone else was out there. Now they were the guardians of hundreds of worlds. It was not an easy job. Human ships were always in danger. Human soldiers died protecting people they had never. But it was the right job. "Admiral," said Captain Green, "incoming message from Earth. President Walsh wants to speak with you." President Walsh appeared on the screen. Behind her, Cooper could see the busy offices of Earth's new Galactic Defense Department. "Admiral, how are our people holding up?" "Good, ma'am. Morale is high. The crews know they're doing important work." "Any problems?" "The usual, ma'am. Some species think we're too aggressive. Others think we're not aggressive enough. But most are grateful for the protection." President Walsh nodded. "What about the Korthek?" "They're almost finished, Mama. General Vorthik was captured last week. General Zethik is still fighting, but he only has about 50 ships left." "Good. And the other threats?" "Decreasing every month, ma'am. Word is getting around the galaxy. Attack innocent people, and humans will stop you." President Walsh smiled. "You know, Admiral, when we first heard that alien distress call, I never imagined it would lead to this." Cooper looked around his bridge at his crew. They were young men and women from Earth, now protecting alien worlds light years from home. "Neither did I, ma'am, but I'm glad it did." "So am I, Admiral, so am I." The communication ended, and Cooper returned to his work. There were always more missions, more people who needed help, more bullies who needed to be stopped. Captain Morrison's voice came over the radio. "Admiral Cooper, we've arrived at the Morvac system. Beginning liberation operations. Good hunting. Admiral Morrison." Cooper sat back in his command chair and smiled. The galaxy was a safer place now. Children on 100 worlds could sleep peacefully because human ships patrolled the darkness. The Deathworlders had become the protectors. And the galaxy would never be the same. Far below, on hundreds of peaceful worlds, alien children looked up at the stars and felt safe. They knew that somewhere out there, humans were watching over them. The call that had unleashed the Deathworlder Armada had become something greater. It had become hope.